So, order of operations. You might have heard of this acronym, PEMDAS. It stands for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. And really, it's just a way to remember what things come first. Now, parentheses, that's what the P stands for. Exponents, that's what the E stands for. The M and the D, multiplication and division, they both actually go together, even though it's like a misconception that you always have to do multiplication before division, but you actually do them together, whichever comes first. Same with addition and subtraction. So let's first just apply this to a problem. So if this is your problem here, you're going to start with parentheses. So starting with this 12 minus 10, 12 minus 10 is 2, so that's now going to be 14 minus 2 squared divided by 2. All right. Next, if there's an exponent, which there is, let's do that. 2 squared, that's going to be 4. So we have 14 minus 4 divided by 2. Then we have, there's a division here, that's next. So 4 divided by 2, that's 2. So finally we have 14 minus 2, and that gives us 12. All right, so that's just an implementation of it. Now, again, one common misconception, as I was pointing out earlier, is people think that, oh yeah, you always have to add before you subtract. And if you believe that, then if you have a problem like this, well then people would incorrectly say, oh yeah, you got to add these first, and then 10 minus that 7 would give you 3. But that's wrong here, because again, addition and subtraction, they go together, so you do whichever's first in sequence. So here, you're going to actually do the 10 minus 3 first, because that comes up first. So anyway, you get 10 minus 3, which is 7, plus the 4, and 7 plus 4 is 11. So that's how you do that one. Now, let's do one challenge problem of sorts. All right, this looks like a big, complicated problem, but let's do it step by step. Let's break it down, and it won't be too bad. So starting with P, parentheses. What are all the parentheses here? Well, we got this 7 minus 8, 7, and we also have this 16 divided by 4. So let's work on those first. 7 minus 8 is negative 1. So we got negative 1 cubed, and times this negative 10, minus 8, plus, and then 16 divided by 4 is 4, plus 10 times 0. All right, that's P, PEMDAS. So then E, exponent. Are there any exponents? Oh yeah, negative 1 cubed. Negative 1 cubed is negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1, times the third negative 1, which is negative 1. So long story short, negative 1 to the third power is just negative 1. So that's just going to be negative 1 times negative 10 minus 8 plus 4 plus 10 times 0. Notice here we're writing these as parentheses, but that's really multiplication here. Usually when there's a negative, we tend to keep them in parentheses, but we mean multiplication there. Now, all right, PEMDAS, so the next thing would be multiplication and division. So there are a couple of multiplications here. We got this 10 times 0, and we also got this negative 1 times negative 10. Well, let's see what those are. Negative 1 times negative 10. Negative times negative is positive. So that's going to be positive 10. Then we have this minus 8 plus 4. And then plus 10 times 0 is 0. So then just plus 0. All right, almost done. So now, again, addition and subtraction. Again, that's that little tricky thing where we don't do addition first and then subtraction. We're just going to do it in order because they're together. So 10 minus 8 is going to be 2. And then we have plus 4. And so 2 plus 4 is going to give us the final answer of 6.